Hello and welcome everyone. This is Mr. West. Today we're doing a middle school math tutorial on order of operations. This is specifically from a website called Math Drills. I like using these worksheets in class. They're just great, basics. But let's go ahead and break down these basics of order of operations, okay? As you know, or you may know, maybe you don't know, is order of operations is all about these things. Parentheses, let me get my laser pointer, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. And what you should know is these two go together, okay? And these two go together. Don't want to have it too dark. So don't think multiplication has to come before addition. That's a common misconception. And addition doesn't have to come before subtraction. Anytime you have these ones, you go left to right. So left to right, okay? The order in which they appear. So let's break this down, starting with number 1. It's not labeled as number 1, but I'm assuming it's number 1. We have 2 to the third power. Okay, I'm actually going to shrink this because this is crowding my space. So I'm going to shrink this, move it up. The program I'm using is Notability. Great program, by the way. We have 2 to the third power. That's what this is. That's an exponent. Okay, times 8 plus 4 minus 10. So what do we have going on here? We have an exponent. We have multiplication. That's the next thing I see left to right. I have parentheses. And then I have addition. And I have subtraction. No division, but that's okay. So I have PAMAS. Okay, now, as I said before, the first thing we have to do is parentheses. Even though we see exponents right here, we have to do the parentheses first. Inside the parentheses is addition. Okay, but it doesn't matter because of the parentheses rule, we do the addition first. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go left to right. I don't necessarily have to do addition first always in order of operations, but I'm just going to go left to right inside the parentheses. So I have 8 plus 4. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to kind of demonstrate how I would normally solve this. I would do 8 plus 4, and then I would just drop down this minus 10. Okay, I'm going to leave this in parentheses here. I'm going to keep everything else the same. It's very important to learn the skill of writing line by line. I like to take it one line at a time. Okay, so then I have 12 minus 10, and now I have an answer for that. That answer is 2. That stays in parentheses. Okay, I like to keep in parentheses. Doesn't hurt anything. And now I have 2 to the third power. I know what you're thinking. Well, you still have parentheses, but I can kind of erase them because there's nothing left to do. All there is a 2 inside, and so I can just erase it. So now I have just, let's get rid of some things here. We got rid of our addition. We got rid of subtraction. So now we have, we don't have any parentheses anymore. Now we're down to exponents and multiplication. Well, we know that exponents come first, so we have to do this guy before we do the multiplication. Okay, and when I say this guy, I'm saying this guy, but you can't see what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this guy. Now, 2 to the third power, what does that mean? That means we're doing repeated multiplication. Anytime we have exponents, it's repeated multiplication. So essentially what we're doing is we're multiplying 2 by itself 3 times. And don't forget, we still have to multiply it times 2. Anytime, this is just a habit because I teach high school math also. Anytime you see this little dot right there, okay, it's not a decimal. This particular one, because of its kind of halfway up the number, that means multiplication. But if you prefer, I'll write it as an X. A little X sign. So I know that this is equal to 8. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, and I have to multiply this by 2 still, following my order of operations, and my final answer is going to get me 16. So 16 is my final answer for this if I follow the steps. Now, I would get a completely different answer if I didn't follow this order. Okay, so that is why it's so important to follow order of operations. And maybe I'll demonstrate that in one of these ones down the way. Let's go to our second one. So here we have 3 to the third power. Okay, we have this 2. We have times. So we have multiplication already. We have parentheses. We have exponents. Ooh, I'm writing it in the wrong order. Let me move this multiplication down. Okay, we have addition and we have subtraction. So no division again, but we have to start, of course, inside the parentheses. Let's take a look inside of our parentheses. Inside the parentheses, we have exponents, addition, and subtraction. So the first thing we have to do is we have to take care of these exponents. So inside the parentheses, I want to make sure, I don't want that color, I want this color. I have to make sure I take care of this. So this means 3 times itself, 3 times. I like to copy down the rest. Okay, Don't forget to copy it line by line. It's very important This copying skill keeps you organized. Okay, this is part of math, is learning organizational skills, which is very helpful for a lot of other things. So now we have 3 times 3 times 3, that's 27. Okay, and then I'm going to copy everything again. It's like, oh man, I have to recopy all this? Yes, you do. Okay, this is how you stay organized. Okay, so we have 27 minus 5 plus 8, and I still have more to do. Okay, now this is what I mean. You don't have to do addition before subtraction. They go together. So I'm just going to do left to right. I'm just going to go like this. So the first thing I'm going to do is 27 minus 5. Okay, and that gives me 22. And then I have plus 8. And it's still inside the parentheses. I didn't finish with all my operations inside the parentheses. So again, I make another line. Here's my first one, second one, third one, fourth one. I take as many as I need, but it's very important to go, you said it, line by line. So we do 22 plus 8. That gives me 30. Okay, and I'm going to keep my parentheses. I'm going to erase them in just a second. But I'm just showing you what I'm thinking about mentally. So now I have 2 times parentheses 30. There's nothing to do inside those parentheses anymore. So now I just have 2 times 30. And that gives me 60 for my final answer. I'm going to use a different color. Let's go the blue color. So 2 times 30 is 60. And that's going to be my final answer. Now just in real quick refresher in case you're not familiar with how to do this. The standard algorithm, they call it 0 times 2 is the first thing we're doing. And that's 0, and then we 2 times 3, and that's 6, so that's 60. That's why I got that. Okay, we're going to do one more, and let's do one with division. So I see one with division. I'm not sure which number this is. I think you would call it number 6. We'll call it number 6. And you see that we have parentheses, and we have division. So we have parentheses here, we have division here. Clearly, the parentheses win, so we're going to start with that. Inside the parentheses, we have exponents, subtraction, and addition. So obviously, we're going to start with the exponents. 9 squared, what does that mean? That means 9 times 9. Don't forget to copy down everything else. Okay, it's a good practice to get into. And for all my students, I hope you're following along, doing the exact same thing. Keeping this nice and organized. Yes, that's right, I'm talking to you. All right, so now we have 81. 9 times 9 is 81. Hopefully you guys are practicing your multiplication facts. I'm going to keep the parentheses because I'm not done. I haven't finished all the operations inside the parentheses. And then, of course, we have divide by 5 at the end. Okay, let's handle this inside the parentheses. Now that it's just addition and subtraction, I'm going to go left to right. And from left to right, I have 81 minus 8. That's a little tricky, but that's going to give me 73. And then I have plus 2. And of course, I still have those parentheses because I'm taking it line by line. I know that's probably annoying at this point, but the more you hear it, the more you'll learn it. So now I have 75. I guess I can put it in parentheses, but I'm going to show you that really we're going to get rid of it real soon. So we have 75. There's nothing left to do inside the parentheses, so I'm going to get rid of the parentheses. And now I'm just left with 75 divided by 5. Okay, so what times what times 5 will give us 75. That's the way to think about division. So 5 times something will give us 75. Or if you want to do the division way, 75 divided by 5. 5 will go into 7 one time, and that's 5. We subtract 2, and we think 5 goes, or drop down the 5. Sorry, drop that down. 5 goes into 25 5 times, and that's 25. Remainder 0. So it's 5 times 15 will give us 75. So 75 divided by 5, survey says, let me write it, 15. Okay, so that's your quick summary of orders of operations. Make sure you take it step by step. Always do your parentheses first, then exponents, then multiplication, division, left to right, addition, subtraction, left to right, and you should be good to go. That's all I have time for today. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to leave a comment if you need something else covered, need help with something, and I look forward to seeing you next time on Wes Explains Best.